What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another, I was going to say good morning, Tottenham, but I think we overrun on that. I'll say good afternoon, Tottenham. Good afternoon to all of you guys out there. And we've had some breaking news in the past 10-15 minutes. And it is Toby Alderweireld's move to Qatar has been confirmed, which is, you got to say, it's an end of an era at Tottenham. It really is. And you look at that team that Pochettino built, that prime defence, which was probably the best defence in the Premier League over a 2-year period. You had Danny Rose, who's gone now. He's playing at Watford this season. You got Jan Vertonghen, who left last season, who's going to be playing at Benfica. He's been playing at Benfica. Toby Alderweireld now, who's gone out to Qatar, and obviously Kyle Walker, who's doing bits with Man City. So that prime defence is now gone, and it's time to rebuild that defence. It really is time. Cristian Romero, there has been a few updates on him from last night, which we'll get into. In a bit. But we're just going to wait for Simeon. Are people in the back end, Vinny? So we are taking calls today. We're going to take calls on your memories of Toby Alderweireld. We're also going to be taking calls on what you think about the impending Cristian Romero deal. And seeing if it's going to happen. But, you know, even more updates last night suggested to me that it really, this deal really could get over the line. But I think the main news of today is regarding Toby Alderweireld, and his move has been confirmed. Welcome, Sim.
All right.
Welcome back.
In the studio, I'm back. How's everyone doing?
Everyone is good. Everyone's good. We've got 825 viewers at the moment, 110
hello,
likes. So everyone scroll down, smash that like button. Sorry we were a bit late today. But Sim, the news is that Toby Alderweireld has left Tottenham today to go and move to Qatar. I mean, in my opinion, I do think it's a bit too early in his career to go and do that. But having said that, he probably won't get the wages that he's on if he was to wait a couple of years.
I think that's just I think that's the case really in this whole deal, because we know he has the quality. He could even be at Tottenham for another year or two. I think he still has that quality. I think if you got a more physical centre back next to him who can maybe do a bit more of the running for him, because I don't think his legs are as strong or as fast as they used to be. But I still think technically he's one of the best. He is the best defender we still had. But I think it's in the reality is he's getting big money out in Qatar, big money. And if he was to move to a club in Serie A or La Liga, he's probably getting half those wages he's getting in Qatar. It's kind of, a footballer's career
definitely
is short.
In La Liga or Serie A, he's definitely getting half. I mean, what was he on at Tottenham? He was on around
120.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, 120 odd. So, I mean, what, and that was taxed as well. So what, a mad wage increase, 200 grand tax free.
I think a footballer's career is short, isn't it? So you got.
Don't worry about Toby. He was earning enough money to secure his family.
I know it was,
life.
but you up until you're 35, 36, that's you own. That's like your whole income. Sure, obviously you're going to be set for life, but that's like what you have for that career. So I can understand if the money kind of flashing before his eyes, and he went for it for, he's going to be there probably for a couple of years, and he decided to go for it. It doesn't surprise me. I remember when Moussa Dembele was talking about it, going to China, and he was just talking about, I remember even before, I think it was like a year before he left, he was talking about, look, it would be a massive opportunity, for me, just because of how much he's going to be getting. It's just it's very, very difficult to turn that down.
But I think it was a different case though, because Moussa Dembele was clearly, his career was going down, and his legs were going, and he couldn't play in the Premier League week in, week out anymore. No, Toby Alderweireld still can do that. So do you not think it's a bit unambitious from Toby Alderweireld when you're thinking about, he talks about all the time, oh yeah, we didn't get over the line. How many missed opportunities have we had to win trophies? Is it not a bit unambitious for Toby not to kick on for the last couple of years of his career to try and win some of the trophies?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm not going to lie. It does, especially considering he didn't win any trophies at Tottenham. He spent how long?
That's what I'm saying,
six years at Spurs without winning trophies. So you would have think, okay, maybe he's going to go for one last big move. But money talks at the end of the day, and that's for some players that's enough for them. And maybe he's okay with he did win La Liga with Atletico Madrid before he came. So, and he won a few titles at Ajax and stuff like that. So maybe he's okay with that, and he would rather, for the last couple of years, take a large wage increase, and then see out his career in Belgium probably after that. It is a bit of a shame because he's a top centre back. I think he's still a top centre back, and he played quite a lot last season, right? If I remember rightly, he did play quite a lot last season. So he showed that he can still consistently play pretty well. And he was our best centre back last season. But when you're 32, I think maybe they start thinking, how much longer do I have left?
But defenders go on much longer than other...
Certain defenders do. Most defenders do. But
I think a Toby Alderweireld could have gone on for longer. I think he could have thrived in the Italian league, especially, probably more than the Spanish league.
Yeah, he could have. But he decided he wanted the money. And I think for Tottenham it makes sense, because I don't think we're getting more money from anyone else than we got from Qatar. I don't think anyone's going to pay more than 12, 13 million what we got. So I think for Tottenham it definitely makes sense. And maybe instead of waiting for the whole summer to see if a different club comes round in one of the major top leagues, maybe he's thinking, look, they're offering me a lot of money. It's a good opportunity for me for a couple of years. So that's what it is with him. It is a bit of a shame. It is, but it's the reality, I think. Sometimes that's just reality.
It is, but at the end of the day, whatever choices he made, he's would you call him a Tottenham legend?
Yeah. Yeah, if Vertonghen is, why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he
I think that you got to say that he was definitely, if not the best, one of the best. I think top 3 centre-backs to play for us in the Premier League era. He's definitely up there with the Jan Vertonghen's and Ledley Kings. I think those 3 are probably the top 3 Premier League era centre-backs at Tottenham. I mean, what kind of order would you put them in, those 3 centre-backs? It's difficult, isn't it?
It's very tough. I think at their very best, Alderweireld was better than Vertonghen. However, what I would say is I think Vertonghen actually had more consistent level performance from Toby over a longer period, because Toby had 2 amazing seasons when he came, then kind of fell out of Poch, was in and out the side that one season, didn't get much of a look in. Everyone thought he was going to leave. He ended up staying. The season after that, he was getting back better, and then I think the following 2 seasons he was very good again. But I think Vertonghen, apart from that one season under Tim Sherwood and AVB, that season, he's pretty much had a very consistent level performance up until his last season at Spurs. So I think Vertonghen probably goes number 1.
Would you put Vertonghen over Ledley King?
I think King was a better defender, actually. But I just think, Vertonghen was just available, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was also in a much better side, Jan Vertonghen.
Much better side. And Ledley King shone in a mid-table team. I think that's why I think King was better. I think King was a better player when on the pitch, because the way he marshalled that defence and the way he shone in a team that was consistently, near the middle of the table. That was very impressive.
Those tackles that he did on like Huckabee and Arjen Robben, Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld can only dream of doing stuff like that.
They'll never be able to. And he could play as well. It's very underrated how much Ledley King could play. No one talks about that. Yeah. He was a very good ball-playing centre-back, and he usually played on the left-hand side, and he had a very good left foot, despite the fact he was right-footed. He was a very two-footed player, and the fact that he could play in midfield, that showed the quality he had in his feet when he was on the ball. He was a very good ball-playing centre-back. So I think if we're talking about pure quality, I think I'll go King, Alderweireld, Vertonghen. If we're talking about who is Tottenham's best Premier League centre-back, not just in terms of quality, in terms of overall package, I'll probably go for Vertonghen, Ledley, then Toby.
I might go Ledley, Vertonghen, then Toby.
Ledley first.
I think Ledley first, in my opinion. Ledley is Mr. Tottenham, wasn't he? And I think the teams he was in, he completely shone, and it was deservedly so. And you don't get such high praise. Like, everyone came around. Thierry Henry mentions he was the hardest defender that he ever played against,
Yeah.
That is very, very, very high praise. This is Thierry Henry we're talking about. Arguably one of the best, if not the best Premier League player of all time, as much as it pains me to say it.
Well,
he was.
He used to say that Ledley King was the only defender who could get the ball off him without fouling him.
Yeah.
That's what he used to say.
Yeah, and Ledley King was a complete Rolls Royce of defender, as was Vertonghen and as was Toby Alderweireld. But I just think because of the level of players he had around him, I mean, his main partner around his career was Michael Dawson, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the majority of time that he was his partner.
And he made Michael Dawson.
Yeah, and every time Michael Dawson played alongside anyone else, he looked shocking.
Yeah, he was never as good.
Nowhere near as good. Where Jan and Toby had each other, they played with each other for the majority of their career. So I think that they made each other shine, Toby and Jan. They made each other shine.
They knew each other inside out.
Ledley King pretty much had to do it on his own.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a good point. That's why I said Ledley King's the best. I think he is quality-wise our best centre-back that we had in the Premier League. And it's just a shame when you think of those three centre-backs, only one League Cup between them, and Ledley King won that. I mean, it's honestly travesty that how much we've won with those three, because that's they could easily have been, if they were playing for Man City or Man United, they'll be having bucket loads of Premier League titles. I think.
You know how everyone talks about like Rio and Vidic, like the best centre back partnership in Premier League history or whatever. Yeah. If Vertonghen and Alderweireld were playing in that 2008 Man United side, or even a quality Man United side, or whatever, or a Man City side that wins titles, would they be looked at that level?
Yeah. I think so, because you got to remember when for two seasons when Toby first came in, 2 seasons in a row we conceded the least goals in the league, and that should really be winning you a title.
2 years in a row, wasn't it?
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So that should be winning you a title in essence. I know it didn't happen for Tottenham for one reason or another, but I think if it had brought what it should have brought, I think they would be looked at the same ilk as Terry and Carvalho, Vidic and Ferdinand, that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, because they didn't get the trophies that their performances deserved, because I think in terms of ball playing, in terms of positional sense, in terms of partnership, covering for each other, physicality when they're both at their peak peak fitness, like they were quick, they were fast, they were very, very difficult to stop. And they were the perfect duo. They were so perfect. I can't think of a better duo in terms of being able to play on the deck. They were unbelievable. But unfortunately, the trophies just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And that is a massive, it's tragic, really.
It really is tragic.
That they're both left like how they've left and they haven't won anything.
Not just them, though. That team now, the majority of that team is gone. The whole back four is gone. Moussa Dembele's gone. Who else was in that team? Eric Lamella's gone. Eriksen's gone. We've only got Son, Kane, and Lloris left, and Lloris is in his last year now.
Ben Davis.
Ben Davis. So I mean, it really is. It feels like it's a complete end of an era.
It is
right now at Tottenham Hotspur.
And it's taken a while, but that's the reality.
And I just want to wish Toby Alderweireld all the best for the future. He's always going to be close to Tottenham fans' hearts, Toby Alderweireld. And obviously, he's always welcome back at N17 whenever he likes. And I look forward, hopefully at some point during the season, because there's moments in the season where the Qatari season might be off and the Premier League might be on. And I would really like to see him back at half-time with Paul Coit on the pitch to say a proper goodbye to the fans, because I think he deserves that send-off that he wasn't able to get.
Shame, because fans haven't been back in stadiums, have they?
Same with Lamella, same with Vertonghen. He never got it either. All these players, Danny Rose, he deserves it as well. All these players are going without a proper send-off, and it actually hurts me a little bit.
Yeah, and I hope Kane's not the next one.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But yeah, it is a massive shame, because they were part of the best Premier League Spurs team. Best ever Premier League Spurs team.
Yeah.
And they've all left empty-handed, without a proper send-off, without a goodbye, without them knowing how much that they meant for Spurs. So I just think it's a it's a massive shame how it's all conspired, but that's life, I guess.
Toby has tweeted. He's sent a little message to the Spurs fans. Shall we get it up on the screen to see if?
Yeah, 1 sec.
We'll get it up on the screen in a second, but it's a nice little heartfelt message from Toby Alderweireld. It's not as long as Eric Lamella's message, but it is hard to see Toby leave, and I think that we all are going to miss him, and I think that we missed Jan Vertonghen big time last season in and around the squad. I think he was a big influence within that dressing room, and I feel it could be a bit similar with Toby Alderweireld for this coming season, that we will miss him around the place, we will miss him in the dressing room. The guy was a complete Rolls-Royce defender in his time, had some massive moments for us. He was the one that scored in that last North London derby at White Hart Lane, wasn't he?
He scored the last one at White Hart Lane. No, he scored
the one before the last
one. He scored the
one.
first one at the new stadium.
Right.
And then he scored the one before last when Kane scored.
Right, that was
when
it.
Kane scored
Yeah,
that
that was
screamer.
it.
He scored that day. So yeah, he scored often. He scored a couple of goals against Arsenal. We remember him scoring against Man United as well at White Hart Lane. He was a big part of our history, and it's a shame. It's a shame he's going to Qatar at 32 and he's just leaving with no trophies. But I think it's at the end of the day, Spurs, from a Spurs point of view, we needed this rebuild, and it's a good move. I think it's good money in, money off the wage bill, and it allows us an opportunity to start upgrading at centre back properly.
All right, let's go and have a look at what Toby Alderweireld has tweeted out. Let's get it on screen. And, go for it.
He says, 6 years, 2 homes, a Champions League final, and so many memories. You made me feel part of your club the moment I walked out at White Hart Lane and roared us on, no matter what, into our new special stadium. Thank you first to the fans and then to my teammates, every incredible member of Spurs staff, backroom and beyond. This club will always be in mine and my family's hearts. So a lovely message there from Toby Alderweireld.
Yeah,
and he did fit right in, didn't he? He kind of came straight in and fit just like a hand in a glove, pretty much.
Jan Vertonghen made it easy for him.
Yeah.
Because Jan was obviously already there. They knew each other massively from the Belgian squad. They knew each other from back in their Ajax days as well, coming through the academy there together. So it kind of fitted, and it was the perfect partner for Jan Vertonghen. It was the most perfect partner for Jan Vertonghen. You wouldn't want any other centre-back there to partner him at that time.
How many players do we have left in the squad that played at the old White Hart Lane? Lloris, Davis, Son and Kane, is that it?
Lloris, Davis, Son, Kane, yeah, I think so.
Sissoko? I think Sissoko
Sissoko came in that last year, didn't he?
Yeah, last season. So Sissoko as well. Is that it? And Davis.
Yeah, let me have a look.
And Ben Davis.
Is that it?
I think
That's really not many players, is it?
I think that's 6 and that's it. No? Sanchez never played a White Hart Lane.
No, Sanchez didn't.
Winks did, maybe.
Winks did.
Well, yeah, because he scored against West Ham on his debut. That was one
Winks
game.
Did. Joe Hart did. Just
Joe
not
Hart.
for us.
Yeah, not for us. Oh, Eric Dyer.
Eric Dyer, yeah.
Dele Alli did as well. Okay, so there's a few.
Did Aurier? No, Aurier didn't.
No, Aurier didn't.
We had Walker the last season at White Hart Lane, didn't
Lucas never did. Ndombele.
Skip? No.
No, definitely not.
Carter Vickers did.
Yeah, Carter Vickers did. So what is that? Is that 8 players?
Something like that, yeah.
They're running out, aren't they? How weird is that?
It is
players
weird.
who remember the old White Hart Lane.
It is weird, and there's also fans coming through that have never been to like the old White Hart Lane either. And I'm just like, when I speak to these kind of fans, or I just say, you just don't know what you missed. You just don't know what you missed. That place was a special place, and I'd give a lot to go back there just one last time.
Yeah, I do miss it, honestly. I miss it a lot sometimes when you think about the atmosphere that was there. It was just... I love the new stadium, but it was just a different feeling, wasn't it? It was just a different kind of atmosphere when you were there. And like when there was a massive win, and when there was it was a lot easier to get like the atmosphere going than it is in a big, large stadium like ours now. Yeah. And I get it is. I do miss it, and a lot of players don't know what it was like, but still have a few. But they're running out. They are running out. Yeah. According to Fabrizio Romano, he says there will be some news on a new Tottenham centre back very soon.
Oh, really?
That's what he said.
Well, let's just go through what Romano said last night on his Twitch, talking about Cristian Romero, Cristian Romero is Tottenham's #1 priority going into the rest of this transfer window. And he said, let me just find it 1 second. He said Tottenham still in negotiations for Cristian Romero, but no agreement yet on a €55 million fee. But he is the priority. But apparently we do have a plan B in place.
Yeah, I saw this plan B. So
the plan B is to open talks to sign 3 different defenders for the same amount of money that it would cost to sign Cristian Romero. So that would be Tomiyasu for €18 million, and Milenkovic for €15 million, and Kurt Zouma for €25 million. I mean,
it's been an odd one, Zouma.
First of all, those prices don't. I mean, Milenkovic surely is going to cost more than €15 million.
Well, he does have a year left, doesn't he? He's in his final year. But you would think still, even though he's in his final year, considering he's 23, he probably has quite a high market value. So you'd think at least 20, you would think. 15 seems a bit low.
Yeah.
Kurt Zouma, €25 million. Unless Chelsea are desperate to get rid of him, I doubt... I guess that seems about right, to be fair, for Zouma. I don't think I'll be paying any more than that. But I don't think I've never rated Zouma that highly. I did think he had a very good start to last season before Tuchel came in and then he put Rudiger back in. Under Lampard, Zouma was actually one of their top defenders.
But Christensen and Rudiger just completely outshone him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, because Tuchel came in and then he ousted Zouma and he put Rudiger in. Rudiger was not in the team at all under Lampard.
I remember we were linked with him at the time and we completely
we
didn't want him.
I remember we didn't want him for some... But
I'll take him now.
Definitely, he's class, Rudiger. Zouma scored a lot of goals in the first half of last season as well.
Yeah.
He's very strong at set pieces, but I feel like positionally, a lot of the time, a bit like Davinson Sanchez, like you're always worried he might just lose concentration for a second, and it's very hard for him to keep that up for like 90 minutes. Although physically he's a very good centre-back, I think he's quite clumsy on the ball, and I don't think concentration-wise he's always there for 90 minutes. But I do think in terms of like a general centre-back, he is quite a talented one, and he's still fairly young. But would I want him in instead of Romero, even though it means getting Tomiyasu and Milenkovic? I think this is a mistake we've made in the past. You know, going for 3 good players rather than 1 amazing player.
I like Gareth Bale.
Exactly. So I think I'd rather Romero, to be honest. That's my thinking. But it's very odd they're saying Tomiyasu is part of a plan B, though. Does that imply that he's not going to come if
it's interesting
Romero doesn't come? If Romero does come, is Tomiyasu not going to come?
Well, it's interesting because actually Ali Gold said something on the contrary to that, didn't he, a few weeks ago? He said that no matter what centre-back we bring in, Tomiyasu is considered as the club as a right-back. That's what he said. So, I mean, it's guess who do you want to believe? We don't really know.
Marcelo says quality versus quantity, lads. And I kind of agree. Although Milenkovic and Zouma are good, they're good. They're not. I don't think they're Romero's quality. You know, Romero's off the back of having, an unbelievable season, getting Serie A Defender of the Year. So I think he's just a level above them.
If Milenkovic is going for €15 million, right?
You can get both of them.
Exactly. I would look to sign Cristian Romero, put all our eggs in the Cristian Romero basket, and then try go get a Milenkovic for €15 million. I think that's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, if that really is his price, it doesn't make sense to me. Just get Romero and then and not go for a Milenkovic if he's going for such a cheap price, especially if we can get rid of Sanchez.
Yeah. We are taking calls today, so link is in your community section to members right now. So do click that link. Come on, have your say on Toby Alderweireld. Have your say on the Tottenham transfer situation at the moment. We'll just go through a few more updates and then we'll start to bring some guests on. Romano was also saying last night that Nuno is pushing for Tottenham to sign Atalanta defender Cristian Romero. They are working on the deal, but it is not done yet. There is no agreement with Tottenham and Atalanta for Romero. They are currently discussing the terms and the structure of the deal. I mean, nothing seems to be edging that closer day by day, does it? It's just the same updates pretty much every day.
Yeah, I think they got to get their money, don't they? These reporters, or all these... like Romano and stuff, I think that's how they do it. They just drip feed you every single day, like little things until the deal weeks later kind of happens. And that's it.
Yeah. Do we have anyone waiting in the back? No, we got no one waiting. So if you do want to come on, do click the link in the community section. I want to speak to you. I want to hear your Toby Alderweireld memories. I want to hear your Toby Alderweireld thank yous and everything. Just on all your opinions and what have you. And also on Cristian, Romero, Brian Hill. Anyone you want to talk about, we want to hear your opinions. Anything Tottenham related.
Someone's tagged me in a tweet, or tagged us in a tweet from whoscored.com. It says Toby Alderweireld only committed one error directly leading to an opposition goal across his 200 Premier League appearances.
Wow,
it's very impressive, and that shows his quality, how good he was.
Signed out on 200 PL appearances.
Yeah,
nice little round number there.
Very nice round number, and I think that might have been.
What is that? When was that error?
I think it might. I reckon it was. I remember very early on, like maybe in his second game, we played Stoke at home, and he gave away a really poor penalty. So maybe they think maybe it's that, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyone in the comments? Anyone in the comments reckon they know when the error was? Because I don't.
Was it not when? Well, that wasn't really an error. He just got done when Danny Ings took it over his head.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was that. An error is like when you've done something yourself to kind of.
I don't remember one error, really, to be honest.
Someone says the Leicester penalty. He did give away a penalty against Leicester fairly recently. I think the one against Stoke. I remember someone says Aston Villa. Own goal versus Aston Villa.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it.
That was when. Remember when Son scored a brace with a broken arm?
Oh yeah, I was there.
Yeah. Scored an own goal.
That was scenes, by the way, when Sonny scored that goal in the last minute. That was scenes at Villa Park. Oh my God! Do you remember? You went pelting down to the front.
That was epic. that was one of the last games before lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we went to that. I think we went to Burnley away.
And that was it. And there was lockdown.
And then we had flights and tickets and everything booked to Leipzig, and we just never went.
Someone says Liverpool away last season. Liverpool away last season.
Oh, that was it. When Toby scored straight after we scored that own goal.
Yeah.
That was against Villa, right?
Yeah, that was against Villa.
Yeah. All right, look, we got the main man. We got Marcelo in the background. Long time no speak, Marcelo.
Oh, Marcelo.
Let's bring him on. Microphones into the layers.
One sec, guys. One sec. We're sorting this out.
Can you hear Marcelo?
Marcelo?
Can you hear me?
I can hear him.
I can hear you.
Okay, fine. I think the sound is back. How you doing, Marcelo?
I can hear you guys now.
All good. How you doing, Marcelo? It's good to see you, my friend. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you guys. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. Yeah,
the main man is back on We Are Tottenham TV. What are you saying,
We're
Marcelo?
back, baby. Nah, look, I think this is gonna be a good transfer window. I think things are changing, lads. I think things are changing. We finally got a director of football, a proper one. You know, like
Don Paratici at the wheel,
Don
baby.
Paratici, man. I believe in this guy. For some reason, I got a good feeling about this guy. You know, look at his track record. You know, people like to say, you know, CV don't matter, but it does matter. You know, this guy, he was one of the foundations that built Juventus. You know, like Juventus are a massive club. You know, like that a guy like that coming to Tottenham, it's huge news. So I think he's gonna get this Romero deal over over the hill. I think it's gonna be done. I think he's gonna do it. Um, but of course, there's that main guy, looming in the back, Daniel Levy.
Mm.
This is good. This is a good deal, man. Like how many times do we say, man, we should have just gotten that guy. We shouldn't just gotten that. We should just cough up the extra 10 million and just gotten him instead of getting, the 5 players. We should have gotten one quality. Honestly, if we get just Romero, Gil, and what is it? The new Golini guy, right? The
Hmm.
goalkeeper. If we get those three, it's not a perfect window, but it's a better window than what we've had in a long time. If we really think about it, because we're bringing in two, maybe three quality players, that could really get in us. Like we don't need bodies. We need guys that can come in the squad and start for us, or really get in the team sheet.
But
Because
Marcelo, let me ask you this:
go ahead.
would those three be enough for you to go into the season with?
No, no, but it will be a start. That's what I'm trying to say. It'll be a
Hmm.
start, and it'll be a start to the like a positive direction, instead of just going, oh, let's get this 7 players and let's hope one of them turns out to be well. Like the Christian Eriksen situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
saw we saw Bell, and we really only got one player out of it. So it's just, look, let's get some quality. If we can get Romero, and that's a massive signing. That guy already, he walks into our defense. He's one of our best defender. Like that would be a major improvement, and we need major improvement in this defense. Like we let Toby go. We let Toby go and he was our best defender. So we now need a quality defender, because we cannot have Eric Dyer and Sanchez as our back line. We will be mid table. We will go lower in this league. We need a quality center back coming in. Believe you me, because I said it last season when Jan left. I said that's one of our best defender leaving, and we need to replace him, and we didn't replace him. And
Yeah.
people laughed at me. They said Jan was old, this and that. And I'm saying, no, he's better than Dyer and he's better than Sanchez. And I'll say the same thing about Toby. He's still better than Dyer and he's still better than Sanchez. So we need a center back.
Would you be comfortable going into the new season with a back with 4 centre backs, and those 4 centre backs were Romero, Dyer, Roden, and Welsh Maldini and
Okay.
Tanganga?
Would I be confident? I mean, we are relying a lot on youth, and you know, kind of like Romero is obviously class. Rodon, I always said it. I think he has potential. He just
No,
needs,
they're the same age, Romero and
yeah,
Roden.
they are. But like Rodon just doesn't have the same experience as Romero. Romero has, top, he's played in, Champions League, he's playing Copa Americas. The man's been in it all. While Rodon is just now getting that experience,
Yeah.
the big level. So we just need to give Rodon some big game time. But no, I think we need 2 center backs. I think we need like 2 top class center backs. If we can get Kawande or Kounde, or however you say his name, he's a class defender, by the way. I really do rate him. Him and Romero, or him and Milinkovic. I'm a big fan of Milinkovic. If we can get those two in, that's a massive improvement in this squad, because you got to remember last season, if we had 2 competent center backs, we probably would have gone top 4.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Hmm.
even joking. Like, we would have probably gone top 4. Like,
I
how
agree.
many times we went a goal up, it's an 80th minute, and these defenders just switched off on us, just switched off completely, and it cost us 2, 3 points. Our problem right now is not our attack. We got, as long as we keep Kane, and which, by the way, he's staying. I believe he's gonna stay for this season. I believe, I hope, I pray. So as long as we can keep those two, Sonny and Kane, they will always rack up the goal for us. And we made some improvement with Gil, and we still got Lo Celso coming back in the midfield. We got Skip. We got some exciting new midfielders coming in, and midfielders coming back like Ndombele. So if those guys can get firing, we don't need to, shore up our midfield and attack this season. We need to shore up that defense, bro. That defense has to go. has to go. Like the great Claude said, it's time to go.
It's time to
Sanchez,
go.
Dyer, all these guys, bro. They gotta go. I'm sick and tired of it, bro. I like as a person that loves defending, like love watching the great defenders. My time. The Jan Vertonghen's, the Tobys. I know he's a Chelsea player, but Thiago Silva when he plays for Brazil. Like all these great defenders I've seen in the past. Like I cannot watch these two guys. It's like watching Dumber and Dumber.
Literally.
Like it's just Bobo the clown, and he got his side man. Like just doing the circus act for him.
Exactly.
It's
Davinson Sanchez
ridiculous.
falling flat on his face against Man City or
Yeah,
whatever it was.
exactly.
Like we will be beyond a banter club if those two guys stay. It's a joke. Like we need to.
Marcelo, you said about in the comments before we were talking about Romero and what Romano was saying about him. Potentially, there's a plan A trying to get him in, and if that doesn't work, there's a plan B of getting Tomiyasu, Zuma, and Milenkovic as a 3. You said in the comments quantity is better than quality, but if we have an opportunity to, if it's a decision to get one good centre back like Romero, or one great centre back like Romero, or 2 good centre backs like Milenkovic and Zuma, which one do you go for?
One quality. Like how many? Like I've said this many times, in your channel and in David's channel. We don't have to just spend a crazy amount. We don't have to like buy loads of players. We can do like Liverpool did. They formed their squad over the years. They slowly built it by getting quality players, 1 or 2 quality players each window. You do that over the years, it's going to show. I mean, that's what we did. With the Pochettino era, we slowly got some of these players in, and they kind of came in on form, and then they all came together. It all came together. So we need to buy some quality players. If we have to do it, window at a time, so be it. I'd rather do that than just get some bodies and get some waste men, bro. Like Doherty, I did not like that signing. I thought that was a terrible signing. Joe Hart, you know what I mean? Like, what is he gonna do for Spurs? Nothing. We're already looking to sell him. We're already even maybe looking to sell Doherty. The guy just came here. Like we can't be wasting our money and time. It's not productive. It's not good business wise. You're not gonna save money in the long term. Like buying Romero right now, I guarantee you, it's gonna save you more money in the long term because Romero is 23 and he's a world class center back. One of the best in Serie A. And he's going to be a center back that can be in Spurs for maybe 7, 10 years if he stays.
Absolutely agree, Marcelo.
Just like let's start doing that. Let's start being like smart. Let's be smart on the window. No, not quantity, quality. We need quality.
Let's act like a big club as well. We've got the stadium, we got the training ground. Let's act like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like our spending out of all like the top leagues is criminal. So like just cough up the 10 million. Levy, I'm telling you, you're not gonna regret it. You're gonna actually thank me. You're gonna thank everybody. You're gonna thank
He's gonna call you up next season, Marcelo, and he's gonna thank you personally.
Honestly, he should because this is how big teams do it. I understand we can't be like a City, we can't be like a United. We don't have that type of money, but we can be like a Liverpool where we can do smart business window at a time. We can do smart business. So this is smart business. I believe in Paratici. Romero's coming in. He's coming in 17. And also, don't forget about Jus Koande, man. That guy can still come in. I still believe in Paratici, the Don himself. He's bringing us back. And 17 is back. The Gooners, the Jokesters are back. They're going bait table. We're going to go up, baby. It's up and onwards. Let's go. Come on, you Spurs.
Just before we let you go, Marcelo, any parting words for the legend that is Toby Alderweireld?
Listen, nothing but respect for the guy. I think there were some things he did that I didn't like. I thought, he was part of that group with Pochettino. But look, his performances didn't dip under Pochettino. I still felt like he still played the game. He still, was our best defender. And I got nothing but respect for Toby. He was a wonderful defender. The pings, the passing, the skills involved. It was a beauty to watch, and I love beautiful football, and I love beautiful defending, and he was a great defender, and nothing but the best for the guy. Nothing but the best. Thank you, Toby. Thank you for everything.
All right. Thank you, Marcelo, for coming
Come
on,
on,
my
you
friend. And
Spurs.
we'll see you
Nice
soon.
one,
Come on,
Marcelo.
Spurs.
See you later. Come on.
See you in a bit. And with Toby leaving as well, is that it then for the Belgian contingent? We got no Belgians now at Tottenham.
No.
No
I don't
Belgians.
think we've got any Belgians left. No, we don't.
Which is a shame because I enjoyed that when we had the little. We had about 4 or 5 of them at one point, didn't we?
Yeah, we're going to build up the Argentinian contingent back up again.
Exactly.
I like
That is,
I
that
like
seems to
getting
be
the
building up again.
Argentinian. You know, Spurs have got a nice little Argentinian history. You know, Ozzy, Ricky, and then it all went on. And then again, you know, who else did we have in the
Pochettino.
90s? Did we have anyone in the 90s?
What, but Argentinians?
Yeah,
Don't think so. Did we?
I'm trying to think. But anyway, then Poch brought it back with the whole his lot. So I would love some more Argentinians. They've got that fire in their belly. They know what it means. They're street smart. Look at Eric Lamela. You know what I mean? I know he wasn't the greatest player and whatever, but he knew what it meant.
Someone
to
said
wear that shirt.
Maradona.
Maradona, exactly. He wore a Spurs shirt, Maradona. Maradona was probably the greatest Argentine to ever play for Spurs.
Tarico,
Maurizio Tarico,
Fazio as well.
Exactly.
Argentines. But yeah, no Belgians though at the moment. So that's the kind of end of that era of having that Belgian contingent, which was very strong at one point, and I'm gonna miss them all.
Yeah,
It's a shame.
so obviously we had Fazio, Gazzaniga, 1-5, Giovanni Lo Celso, Eric Lamela, Maurizio Pochettino. I mean, the list goes on. The Argentinian contingent at Spurs over the years has been strong. Let's go on to our next guest, which is the great Bob Spur TV.
Big up, Bob Spur.
Yes, Bob. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, guys. I'm all good.
Talk to me about Toby Alderweireld, mate. Left the club today after many years. Great service to the club.
Yeah.
Formed probably the best defence in our Premier League history, alongside Jan Vertonghen, Danny Rose and Carl Walker. What are your passing thoughts for Toby?
That combination, mate, would have made any team in the Premier League a better team. You talk of, them going to a Man United. If them two were at Man United last season, they would have won the league, in their prompt. So, no, absolutely fantastic. I think they complemented really well, each other really well. Jan made Toby a better player and vice versa. And Toby, after Jan made the likes of Sanchez and Rodon look comfortable alongside him as well. So sad to see him go, but it's purely financially motivated, mate. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's gone over to Qatar, couple of seasons, get his 200k a week, and then move back home for his last year or so. We've got the World Cup next year over there as well, so it save him a bit of money on travelling as well. So
he might not make the squad playing in Qatar, Bob.
Yeah, that is a point. But no, good luck to him. It's like I say, he's done everything, hasn't he? He's not won the trophies that he would have liked at Spurs, but he's certainly got legendary status in some form at Spurs. So good on him. It was time to move on anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, but how hard is it to take that all these players are leaving Tottenham? In the past couple of years, Vertonghen, Eriksen, Alderweireld, Moussa Dembele, all these players are leaving, having been part of the best ever Premier League Tottenham side. Yet they all leave with no trophies, and they all leave with nothing really to show for it.
I know, mate. I know. I was watching the 3-0 against Man United in the last season of White Hart Lane last night. The Lamela, that one. I was watching that last night, and the players there. When he scored the third, and all the players went up. The Eriksens, the Walkers, the Rose, all going up to stand. I thought, man, what could? It's weird though, Sim. Like you say, mate. There's so many players that are eventually gone, but there's so many players who are still there that should have gone. Yeah, it is an end of an era. Some people would say it's probably come too late. Some people would say we should have progressed while we were in that era, and we would have seen the fruits now. So, but that's bloody hell, that's a whole different topic.
Bob, we were talking before on the stream, our 3 best Premier League defenders in terms of Ledley King, Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen. I put Ledley King at a top, Jan Vertonghen second, Toby Alderweireld third. I think Sim put Jan Vertonghen top, Ledley King second, and Toby third. How would you rank it?
Oh, 100%. Ledley King all the way. He was king of the lane. He was one of our own. Just so unfortunate. And I always say, if he hadn't had those injuries, he would have gone down as one of the, if not the best defender in the world. So, no, I love it. It's a personal choice. I love Ledley King, and he'll always be number one for me. Gary Mabbutt's up there as well because he was captain of the best ever day I've ever had in a Tottenham. But of course, if you're rating them three, and for me, it's Ledley, Jan, and Toby. Jan, super Jan.
Same as me.
And talking about Toby's potential replacement, there's talk about obviously Romero coming through the door. Romano saying yesterday that he's a plan A at the moment, but a plan B could be to get 3 defenders in for the same price. What are your thoughts on the prospective deal? Do you think it's better to go for that real quality defender Romero, or do you think that we need we need numbers in that defence of upgrades? So it's better to get the numbers in. What do you think?
We need numbers, don't we, Sim? I mean, Marcelo, I see him as a little brother, but I could not disagree 100%. Say that we'd be happy with a Romero and a Hill and Galini, would be happy if that was the transfer we brought in this. Mate, you compare that to a Reguilon, Højbjerg, and whoever else we brought in last season, Reguilon, Højbjerg, and another. Last season, you compare it to last Joe. There was
and Roden,
yeah, Roden. You know, if we had those, I'd compare last season's transfer window to this season. So no, see, it's a weird one because a lot of people think I'm being negative, but I think, you know, the whole giving the accolade of a Don Paratici, I think it's a bit premature so far. I hope it goes that way. Of course I do. I hope he brings every single player. Romero, if he comes in, you know, there'll be Kleenex on standby because I love him so much. He's absolutely, I think he's in make up for Toby in an instant. We do need another defender in, but you know, the whole furore over bringing a goalkeeper, number 2 goalkeeper on loan and a potential, for me doesn't do it for me right now. A lot of talk, you know, 564 players will be linked to. I'm quite happy with just 4, like I said. But he needs to do it. He needs to do it because right now, as we stand, guys, we've got a weaker first 11 than what we had to last season. With Lamela going out and Toby going out, we've got a weaker first 11. And let's be honest, even if Romero does come in next week, it's very unlikely he's going to be starting against Man City, as he might do, of course. But then we've got the whole, if you can put the argument towards Roden that he hasn't got experience, blah, blah, blah. Surely a 23-year-old player who's younger than Roden, by the way, in Romero, coming in and not ever playing in the Premier League, the same argument can be made for him. So, like I say, we have to be prepared for a Dyer, Sanchez, and a Roden back 3. If he goes back 3 against Man City, that's where we're at the moment. So, you know, forgive me for being a bit apprehensive with all these links that we're currently having. I mean, Tomiyasu, you know, it's been going on for 4 weeks now, and we've not brought him in. Whole Olympics thing, you know, as far as I'm concerned, he wants to come in. He's told Spurs he wants to come in. Personal terms were all agreed. From my knowledge, the rest is up to the agent. The fact is that the Olympics should be slightly irrelevant. So it's been going on for 4 weeks. So I am a bit...
Brian Hill's at the Olympics. We signed him.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. And that's happened. So my apprehensive isn't towards Paratici. I want him to be fantastic. Certainly not against Nuno, because it's a bit sad, actually, that the manager of our football clubs seems to be a bit mute, and it's all about the director of football. Yeah, because as far as last time I checked, Levy and Enoch are still in charge, so forgive me for being a bit cautious.
No, I think you're completely right to be cautious with Daniel Levy at the helm. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is what we were calling for last year. You know, we were calling for Levy to take a bit of a step back, to bring someone who knows about football to come in and run the footballing side of things. And that's what we're seeing at the moment. Obviously, Levy is always going to run the money side of things. And all Paratici can do is bring these players to Levy's door. And then it's up to Levy to make the most out of it. But at the end of the day, I mean, with the rumours that I know they are only rumours, but they are coming from reliable sources, and I get what you're saying, and so like can't get excited until you really see them holding the shirt. But it does seem that things are going in the right direction, or at least a better direction than it has been recently. Is that?
But Ben, I know what you're saying, mate. You know, we're being linked to players and stuff like that. The fact is, these are two players that were brought in, and with regards to being linked, mate, if we brought every single player we were linked to under Hitchin, mate, we would have had Grealish, Bruno Fernandes, Skriniar by now. So it's all very well. Spurs being linked to a player, history would suggest means F all. So and the fact, like I say, Levy's still there. You know, apparently Paratici has been given a budget and a checkbook to go out and get the players. If that was the case, and Tommy Arsu we wouldn't be haggling over 2 million with Tommy Arsu. If that was the case, I would have loved to have seen how Hitchin would have done with an open checkbook and a budget. It's one of those, isn't it? It's a wait and see for me. I want Paratici to do really well, but I can't. I find it. I'll be honest. I find it a bit surprising the way some of the fan base are going OTT over a couple of signings, and going OTT over the fact that we are being linked to so many players. I can go back and find numerous players being linked to us, and here we go by a certain person over and over again, but it never came off, and that was purely down to
you're talking about Dybala,
an individual. Yeah, the Dybalas, mate, the Skriniars. We were only a couple of days of Grealish. We were 2 million away or 5 million away from. We all know the Bruno. It was quite evident that he wants to come over, and we were quite happy to go ahead with it. But like I say, we've seen it all before. And that's not me. That's not me being negative. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you don't want Paratici." I want Paratici to go down as the best director of football we've ever had. I want Hill to come in and become the best left winger, right winger, the attacking prospect we'll ever have. I want all that, but I do need to take a step back and see what the reality is. And so far, so good. I want so far, so excellent, like I've said before. So and we do need. We've not at the moment as we stand. Our first 11, our first team squad is weaker.
Look, I do understand what you're saying, but is there nothing in it that when Levy and Hitchin were running the shop at the back end of last season, our number one priority, so it seemed our number one priority was Joachim Anderson. And now with Paratici there, our number one priority is Cristian Romero. I mean, that's levels, isn't it?
Yeah. I like I say, I want Romero to come in, but I disagree with you to one point, because I think the end of last season, our main priority was a manager, and that took 75 days.
Yeah. Completely true. And it took for Paratici to come in for it to happen imminently, really.
That's it, mate. That's it. And like I say, we're just playing catch up. We're still cleaning up Levy's indecisive mess with regards to a manager who still needs bedding in, mate. Never mind players. Yeah. He's not had his first team to work with, and we're already trying to not push, but we're bringing in new players for him to work with. It's like, well, I don't even know how my formation's working within the first team. Never mind new players coming who need to bed in themselves. So it's just a domino effect from, like I say, Levy's indecisiveness, and let's wait and see. Let's hope all these players come in. I really hope it happens, but I'm just being a bit cautious. I don't think we should expect. I believe with the right personnel in, we can challenge for the top four. I really do believe that. I think we can finish top four if we bring the right players in, if we bring a Romero in, if we bring a really good another defender in, a Tommy Arsu, another attacking option. Ideally, Ings. I'd love to see him there, and hopefully he can see the vision that Paratici is trying to put together. I'd love him. But I'm being cautious about it, because we've all been there before. We've all been hurt. We've all done streams on Tommy Arsu, Romero, or a Conte, or a Pochettino. Welcome back, and we've all been, bit in the bum. So it's a bit cautious, excited. Yes, I just want it to. Let's see the fruit. Let's see how it goes. But the Don Paratici for me is a title that's in wait at the moment.
I hear that. I understand his point, I think, because I think I think he's definitely right. We've all been burnt by this board a number of times now. And it's about seeing it before you believe it in that case.
Romeo Agresti said Don Paratici is the best sporting director, bar none. Bar none. All right.
Piss off, Ben. Piss off.
Bob, absolute pleasure getting you on, man. I'll speak to you soon.
Big up, mate. Big up. Piss off, Levy.
That's damn right.
Nice one, Bob.
See you later, Bob. But look, at the end of the day, he is right, because all we've done so far is sign Golini and sign Brian Hill, who no one really heard of before we were linked with them.
Yeah, we haven't done exactly. So I think there is a bit of excitement because of what's being reported and stuff like that. But what was actually happened, you got to say, not just yet. I think it's hard to get too excited just yet. Michel Vorm has tweeted on his Instagram account. Let's get it up.
So he's tweeted or he's Instagram?
Oh, he's Instagram then, sorry. And then there were none. Putting in Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Moussa Dembele,
That was all
Vincent
the
Janssen.
Belgians. But he's not Belgian.
Well, Janssen and Vorm were both Dutch, but they all played in the Dutch league, didn't they?
Right.
So that's how that was all their links. So that was Michel Vorm's latest social media post there.
All right, got a few super chats to go through. Silver Surfer says, hope to see Fabrizio Romano on your channel. I hope to see him on our channel as well. I think there are a couple more, but I can't. Have you got any lined up there?
There was one here from Brad Matthews who was talking. I think he's referencing what mistake Toby made. He said Toby slipped against PSV away in the Champions League, resulting in a goal, putting us 1-0 down. I remember that game, but the stat was in the Premier League, not Champions League. So that's what I think people were referring to when they're guessing. But yeah, I don't know what the mistake was that they're referring to.
Well, I'm sure someone will let us know very soon. But we've got a new member, old member becoming a new member, and that is Gary McGrath back on the scene. Welcome back. Welcome back to the membership. Welcome back to the We Are Tottenham family. Who have we got? How many have we got waiting? Let's get Brian Daigle. Let's get Brian Daigle on. Yes, Brian. How's it going, my friend?
All good, boys. How about yourself?
Yeah, all good. All good. I mean, a bit emotional today with Toby Alderweireld news. I mean, we all knew he was going anyway, but I think when you actually see it confirmed by Tottenham, I think it hits home a bit. And I think that when you think about our best defence we had in the Premier League history, and Rose and Walker and Jan and Toby at the back, it's going to be hard to replicate that. It really is. But what's your feelings on Toby Alderweireld, and what's your feelings on Cristian Romero as well?
Alderweireld, I wish him well. I really do. I think it was a great service. Yes, like Marcelo said, and Bosman, yeah, there are a few issues during that time, but you can't downplay what he did for us, and definitely was part of the strongest centre-back partnership I've ever seen in my lifetime for Tottenham, and I wish him nothing but the best. Romero, as I've said before, this still needs to get done. I'm concerned that, once again, if someone had said to me at the beginning of the season, right here, right now, we'll only have a goalkeeper and a left winger, I'd have been like, what are you talking about? We blatantly need centre-backs and these need to be done. And they haven't yet. If Romero gets in, fantastic, brilliant, I'm delighted. Tomiyasu, this whole deal has annoyed me, because obviously we couldn't sign Tomiyasu for ages because he's at the Olympics. And yet we signed Brian Hill, who's at the Olympics, within 1 week. So that kind of is a bit fishy, but we need to get the defenders in. But Toby's gone, and like you were saying, it was the last of the Belgian. Lamela was the last of the famous seven. So the players are going out. We just need to get. I think we need to focus more on players out at the moment. Once we get a couple of centre backs in, yes, we need a right winger. Yes, we need a striker, but we need to sort this defence out ASAP, and that's where the priority is for me.
Brian, have you seen the plan A and the plan B that was put out by Fabrizio Romano last night?
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. I kind of went nuclear on Dave Harris's show yesterday. I didn't mean to.
He only has one setting, Brian Daigle.
Push the button! Push the button, Daigle! And by the way, Brian, we're going to start calling you Brian Daigle.
Okay, that's good, mate. Why not, mate? I've been called worse. Let's put it that way. So that'll do. But yeah, I mean, when you saw Plan A and Plan B, I'm sorry to say, but that just stinks of Levy. That stinks of Levy, and exactly what Marcelo was saying when he said, "Spend the money wisely on big players." David Harris said this ages ago when he said with Aurier, when we had when we got the Walker money, Why did we just go buy a 40 million or whatever right back rather than going for Trippier was there, but then we went through Aurier, then we go through Doherty. Why don't we just spend the money? I don't know enough about any of the option B. I'm hearing loads about option A. I sound like the genie in Aladdin, in Friends Like Me. But yeah,
you're going to take the blue pill or the red pill?
Well, it'll always be blue. I can never take anything red. But yeah, we just need to focus on these centre backs quickly. But like we said, Toby's gone, and wish him nothing but the best. He's on a scouting mission for Qatar. Reporting back to Roberto Martinez about the conditions out there, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Brilliant. And where do you think Toby ranks in terms of our best ever centre backs in the Premier League era? So
I heard the three that you've been giving. Now, everyone knows my obsession and my love for Jan Vertonghen.
Mm-hmm.
He is my second ever favourite Spurs player behind Paul Gascoigne. So, on a personal note, I would put Ledley second to Jan, but that's just because I love Jan so much. Ledley, like Bob said, if it weren't for his injuries, in my opinion, would have been the best centre-back in the world. Ledley was fantastic and phenomenal, but I just absolutely adore Jan, so I can never put Jan second. Nobody puts Baby in the corner.
So you put Toby third then?
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, I understand your point. I agree with you. I put Jan Vertonghen first as well. So I think we're in agreement on that one. But what do you think of in terms of Toby moving to Qatar at this age? Do you think that it's just a move purely to get that money in, that last big paycheck before he sees his career out in Belgium? Or do you think maybe he could have played a few more years in one of the big leagues?
So the talk was him going to Belgium and obviously going back to Royal Antwerp and finishing his career at home, which the romantic side of you comes out and you think, do you know what? Fair play, Toby. You've been a great servant. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Qatar. I mean, let's not get this wrong. This is purely based on financial. And Brad Matthews said yesterday on David's show, when you talk about he wants that one big payoff before he can look after his family. It's like, mate, if you can't look after your family on the money you've made right now, then I don't know what you've been doing with your money. It's purely based on financial. Listen, you look at it and you can say, who can blame him? When that kind of money gets branded about, you're going to take it. It's a little bit weird that it's all of a sudden come out. And I was hell-bent that he was going to back to Belgium, but it is what it is, and it's based on financial. But I don't hold it against him.
Do you feel it's a bit unambitious from him, seeing as he didn't win any trophies at Tottenham? You would think that he'd be dying to win a trophy right now. Jan Vertonghen going to Benfica with chances to win trophies there. Kyle Walker. I mean, Danny Rose is Danny Rose. But do you feel it's a bit unambitious from Toby Alderweireld?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. But you all know the Tottenham curse. He'll win a trophy in Qatar now, and he'll win something. Every Spurs, Romero will win something. It really is quite a peculiar transfer, in all honesty. If you'd gone, like we said, if you'd gone back to Belgium, it would have been understood and, oh my God, you're going back home. But he still probably could have done a job in France, Holland,
Italy.
He could have gone back to Ajax. So, yeah, you look at it, it's a bit of a weird one. But again, this just goes to show how much money talks.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But look, Brian, absolute pleasure to get you on as always, my friend. And we'll speak soon.
Yeah, we will do, mate. And I hope when I go back into the living room, Canada are currently beating England in the women's football. So I'm getting it from both angles here. So I'm hoping we can equalise very, very soon. But guys, great show. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you both soon. And Levy out.
Levy out, and come on, England, for your sake.
Well, it's Team GB, so you can claim it to be Scotland then if we lose. If we win, it's England. If we lose, it's Scotland.
Exactly. That's
how it works.
Last guest of the day, Josh, Spurs Debates.
Big up, Josh.
What's going on, chaps?
Yes, Josh, how's it going, my friend?
All good, bruv. Just went for a 10K run, man. I'm dead.
You best be coming on a 10K run to Potter's Bar tomorrow.
Yeah. Straight up the M1 or whatever it is, man. Don't worry, man. I'm there, bro.
Awesome. What are your thoughts on Toby Alderweireld? Obviously, we've known he's been going to Qatar for a while now, for the last week at least. But how do you feel about the move? Do you think it's a bit of an unambitious move from him, or ambitious for his pocket, I guess?
I reckon, look, the guy definitely had a couple of years left in him. You can't be at the Euros playing for Belgium at the highest level and then end up in Qatar. Do you know what I mean? That sounds dodgy. Just saying that sounds dodgy. Maybe Sepp Blatter made a couple of calls to him, do you know what I mean, and said, "Look, come over here, mate, push these." But I mean, it's a shame, because we want to see Toby we still want to see him in Europe. We want to see him, even the Premier League. I would have been a fan of his in the Premier League. I would have never hated. I would have loved to have seen him still in the Premier League or Europe. Or maybe like a team where he goes back to Belgium, Antwerp, his hometown. But he probably will end up in Antwerp. That's probably his final destination, I reckon. But he's gone for the money, bro. He's gone for the money, man, for sure. He's gone for the heat and the money. And look, the World Cup's there, so maybe being there as a Belgium international, that secures his place there because he can sort of help the team settle in or have a little bit of I don't know, a little bit of experience out there before the big World Cup. So maybe it's going to be a good thing for his international career, but I'm not sure about his club career, man. It's not really who's going to watch him. I mean, who's really going to follow Toby now? You're going to have to find these dodgy links to follow him. Do you know what I mean? You won't see him on Sky or any major sports channel playing, which is a shame because I'd love to still just make myself a little drink and watch Toby play, but it's not going to be the case, man, because I don't even know what times they play over there, man, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Josh, what's your perception at the moment of how the window's going? And is this kind of a deal that represents Spurs being a bit more ruthless in the market and their outgoings, trying to get players? Even, people could argue he was our best centre-back last season, but, getting them out the door and making sure this refresh happens this summer.
You'd like to think they wouldn't get rid of the best defender or one of the best defenders we've ever had and still, can put in a performance. If you play him, selectively, can put in a performance that he's got the ping, he's got the cross ping, finding Dele Alli, finding Son. We're going to lose that weapon. He's got experience, and you can see some of these older defenders just keep going and going and going. So why would they sell him without having a plan? So I do believe defenders are coming in, guys. I do believe that. I know it's all negotiations at this stage with Tomiyasu and Romero, and there's noise. I like noise. I want smoke. We just need to see some fire, obviously, right? We just need to back it up with the heat. But I think it's good noise. From the noise I'm hearing.
Oh. Who's been cut off?
Is he gone?
Oh.
No, you're there. Oh, you're back. You're back. Sorry. You're at the noise you're hearing. Go on.
My lock screen went on. I like the noise that I'm hearing in terms of the names being bandied about. And look, with Mitchell, we did some smart signings. When you go back over the years, the Lennons, Walkers, Roses, Toby, Yan, Lloris, Ericsson, Son. These are smart buys. They were never big buys. Sanchez was a big buy and he flopped. Tangai's still yet to prove the full price tag. I think he will with a bit of man management. So big signings are not necessarily what work for Tottenham, always. We tend to be a club that tends to buy, young players and we mold them the Tottenham way and we get them playing. We create a family atmosphere with Nuno. I think he's the right man at the helm. So I think he can create that environment of kind of family and brotherhood and all that good stuff. Jose, maybe, we'll talk about that another day, but maybe are too harsh on these guys because some of them can stand up for him. So with Nuno and Paratici, I think we've got some good stuff coming, lads. But I mean, at the end of the day, like some of the other callers have said, some are maybe optimistic, some pessimistic. I like to sit in the middle and think, Levy's burnt his fingers with Mitchell. Levy realizes that if you get smart buys in via a sporting director like Paratici, one of the best out there, you can save a bit of money, you can spend smartly. And if you buy young, then obviously we know Levy likes to sell and make some money back in the end. So it's all looking Tottenham, isn't it? It's typical Spurs at the moment. Do you know what I mean? The only thing is that we buy players in the right positions. So the right back needs to be looked at. Max Aarons would be lovely. The left back, obviously with Cesc coming back, maybe a bit more protection there now. But the three at the back, as Bob even said just now, Sanchez, Dyer and Rodon, if it's going to be Romero, Tomiyasu and Rodon, then brilliant. Do you know what I mean? That's brilliant. For a club that's in the ECL, that's not bad going, is it?
Yeah, it's not bad going
but do you think what you're seeing at the moment with Paratici and the deals the rumours that he's potentially negotiating for, do you think Tottenham are looking to challenge again next season, like for that top 4 position, or do you think there's going to be another transitional season for Tottenham?
So it bears on two things for me. Obviously, one is the players that we're talking about right now. If we can get them over the line and sort out the back 4, which has been a problem, with Skip coming in alongside Højbjerg, I see that back 6, or whichever way he's going to do it, a 3-5 or whatever, 3-3, with a pivot, whatnot. I see the back sorting itself out. in this window if we spend the money, right? And that's where we've leaked goals. I mean, how many times did we lose from leading positions? You know, we were like at the wrong end of the table for that. So I'm glad the heart surgery is going on at the back right now, because that's where it's most needed. However, we've got the top right to deal with. Obviously, Gil looks like a good potential signing. I see a lot of David Silva in him. And, you know, if we can nurture him and support him and coach him well, he might be a really good player. You know, he might be a player that goes on to do amazing things. I think with Kane was the second part I was going to say, is where it rests on. Now we lose, you know, Son's wrapped up, and that made my week. You know, to see the Son deal was like brilliant. You know, that in itself is a huge signing to keep him at the club, because if he goes, you're now sitting there going, shit, is Kane going to go too? And Kane's more likely to leave if Son's not there as well. So, you know, I'm not saying I don't think Kane's going to stay. For me, Kane's gone, if you ask me, and I think we're spending a lot of that money now. But if Kane stays and we sign these quality signings that we're talking about, the Romeros, you know, player of the year in Italy, you know, defender of the year in Italy. I mean, that's brilliant, guys. I mean, that sounds almost a bit too good to be true for a club that's finished 7th. And
well,
you know,
funny you say that.
Yeah, we all know, Josh, when it's too good to be true with Tottenham, it usually is.
That's what I'm saying. However, there's a big but. There is a new man at the helm in Paratici. So where if this was, just for a second, imagine we're linked with these players and Paratici's not at the club, I would say, cool. The guy from Juve, the guy that built Juve, the guy that found Conte, Pogba, Dybala, he's not at the helm. Yes, I would sit here and I'd be a bit glum. But the fact we've got this mafioso running the show, I have a little bit more hope, a lot more hope than if he wasn't at the helm. And I feel like Levy's on his last kind of roll of the dice. The ENIC out campaign's hit a nerve with Levy. COVID's hit a nerve with fans, because we've all jumped on streams and made ourselves clear on what we expect from Levy. I think that what you boys have done is amazing. All of that has a knock-on, you know, roll-on effect on Levy's mindset. There's no way he's not aware of ENIC out and people standing outside the stadium. Even if it's 100 people, he's aware. You would be. It's your stadium, isn't it? You'd know. The press, the press is there. You know, it would, through the club, he would find out through his press officer. 300 people came the other day, and it's not looking good. What not, right? So all of this that you lot have done, what everyone's doing, if it's given Levy even a 10, 15% nudge to be less risk averse and to go for it, and that's what made him get Paratici and roll the dice, then great. Do you know what I mean? It's better than where we were 12 months ago. And if it means that we can hold on to Kane for another 12 months, there's every chance we can try and challenge for top 4. Because Chelsea...
Josh, there's just been an update from Fabrizio Romano on Cristian Romero. And he says Atalanta are currently holding out for 55 million euros, 47 million pounds for Cristian Romero, but Spurs are unwilling to pay that much for the 23-year-old.
He also says we're quite far apart in evaluation.
So there you go. I mean, we said just before, Josh, when it seems like it is too good to be true with Tottenham, it usually is.
Ruben Dias, part 2. We were talking to Dias. There was strong signals.
Skriniar.
Yeah, Skriniar. We've all been here. We've all been in Hopeland. But like I said, Paratici is a serious man in the transfer world. He's a top negotiator. The only thing we're lacking is the nudge from Levy to say, "There's your 10 mil. Go and make it happen. I want to see this club back playing Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus again." So you know, it's down to Levy now. This is Levy time again. You know, and the buck falls with him, because he is the final decision maker in all these deals, because he runs the books. So we'll find out more about Levy in the next couple of weeks on this. I mean, how long can this deal continue to wrangle in and out? You know, how long do you get to a point where you then, as an agent, as a player, say, "I just don't want to go to Spurs. It's too long. These lot are too long. They're just, you know, they don't believe in me, or they don't really want me that much. You know, they're just wrangling me about." And then a Man City or Man United comes in and says, "We'll have you," and do a Ruben Dias. And that's my worry, is we're going to get Ruben Dias part 2 with Romero, because come on, man, everyone knows how good he is. You know what I mean? I'm surprised he hasn't been snatched up already, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, 47 million is a big fee, isn't it? No one really expected us.
We spent pretty much that money, bar 7 million, on Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah,
exactly. About 40 million on Davinson Sanchez. I know, but no one. I think when we were thinking about Romero, I don't know.
Sanchez, we got mugged off though, lads. We got mugged off though. I think we have to put a hand. We got mugged off because he wasn't that good. He wasn't. You know, was he Dutch Player of the Year? Was he doing what Romero's doing? Was he that good?
No, nowhere near.
Well, he got to the final of Ajax of the Europa League.
And Jose Mourinho targeted him.
Yeah. So I think we got mugged off on that one. I think Hitchin or whoever negotiated that did a bad job. Because
Yeah.
if you're paying 50 million for Romero, there's very few that will argue with you that it's not value based on what he's done so far and his age and his experience. So you would look at that deal, and most directors, sporting directors or owners would say that looks like value for money. Just like Ruben Dias was, just like Skriniar looks value for money, just like Rafael Varane looks value for money. You can't knock quality players, man, and you can't knock the price either. It is what it is. It's,
I think
it's
the only way we get this deal over the line if we can get an instalment still going. It's the only way we're going to get this over
All
the
deals
line.
are done in instalments pretty much nowadays.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think Man City are quite good at, and the big boys come in and give you a lot more down and get it done.
Yeah.
Because cash flow, innit? It's business cash flow. They can go spend it elsewhere. It's like buying a house. You got the whole chain thing going on. So, if we can put down the cash readies, which we ain't got because we're the most in-debt club in Europe by far, it makes you wonder: are we really going to get this player if we can't structure the deal? So maybe that tweet's calmed everyone down now, and everyone's like, shit.
It's not Don Paratici anymore. It's just Paratici and that bastard Levy again. All right, Josh. Absolute pleasure having you on as always, mate. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Wicked. Come on, Spurs.
Josh. Come on, you Spurs.
See you later.
All right. So that is all for the guests from today. But that has that tweet from the guy. I mean, it was an article from the Guardian. Where by Fabrizio Romano, and go over and read it because it does pour a bit of cold water on this Cristian Romero deal to Tottenham Hotspur.
Classic Tottenham. Just when you think
just when you think you're turning a corner,
and then they hit you with actually Tottenham are not willing to go as far as we'd like, and look, and deals can easily break down on things like this easily. So that's the worrying thing. So I hope there's a middle ground. It doesn't say negotiations are stopped or anything, but it does seem to be a bit of an impasse at the moment, seeing as they won £47 million, and apparently we're quite away in valuation. So not sure how it's going to go, I guess. I don't know, wonder what our limit is. I reckon our limit is around 35. That's what I assume. I reckon it's around 35.
All right, Brian Daigle is back. He wants to talk about Daniel Levy, apparently.
All right, come on, Brian.
Brian, have we pushed the button? Have we pushed the button?
No, you haven't pushed the button. Everyone is pushing the button. I said, this is why I went nuclear on David Harris yesterday, because I said, what's going on now is like we did with Pochettino and Conte coming back to Spurs. It was like, let's get all the fans excited. Let's get them all excited. Season ticket renewals, it's gone. We're going for someone else. We are going for lumps of coal that maybe turn into diamonds, but the first time we go for a diamond, like we always do with these world-class players and the big players, these deals stumble. And why do they stumble? Because of a certain parasite that does this time and time and time again. Smoke and mirrors of, let's get excited. We've signed Brian Gill. We signed the goalkeeper. But now we need to sort out our centre backs. The day we isn't it ironic? This happens the day after money has come in when we sold Toby.
Do you think it's important to wait until at least the end of the transfer window so we can assess it properly? Because it's only negotiations are still going on.
This will happen, and this is the thing. This is Ben. That's what happens. It will bring you in and lure you in. And then what happens if it doesn't get done at the end of the window and everyone has said, let's give him time till the end of the window? It all started crumbling as soon as Fabrizio Romano said option A or option B. This is what happens time and time again. And like I said to you before, when it comes to Daniel Levy, I hate to be right all the time, but he's done it again. All this was all done. Everything's agreed. Personal terms agreed. Like Tomiyasu, like every centre-back we need, and then these deals don't get done. But a left winger who may become a shining talent, who may be a beacon, gets done within a week, no hassles, because he wasn't a necessity. That gets done because, as Daniel Levy likes to say, we like to buy players that may have a resell if it doesn't work.
Oh my God, it gets even worse, man. It gets even worse.
Romano's just tweeted again.
Romano says Chelsea have opened official talks with Sevilla for Jules Koundé.
And there we go, the coup de grace. Now, for the last few days, once again, I've held my stance, and Danny Kiriakou has held his stance. ways a bit, but he knows exactly how it is. And I said to everyone, don't stop believing this shit, because this is what happens time and time again. He suckers you in, like with the managers, like with Grealish, like with Fernandes, like with Skriniar, and then boom, this happens. And as you were saying, boys, we're sick and tired of being a stepping stone or a make weight, and you watch this get done.
Anyway, you didn't even want Koundé anyway, so I mean...
Koundé, I thought you said Romero.
No, Koundé.
Okay, my bad, but it just goes to show again. And apparently Ali and everyone was saying that he may be interested. And there's your golden opportunity, but you don't act on it. Why? You got to remember, what Daniel Levy will come out and say is, yeah, we try and look at the negotiations, we just couldn't get there. And he's going to say that on the day we've just made money from selling Alderweireld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get sucked in.
Fuck's sake, Brian, man.
It says Koundé is very open to joining Chelsea, seeing as his next club he wants to be in the Champions League, and Chelsea in the Champions League. So looks like that one is they're negotiating at the moment, but I would not be surprised at all if that one gets done fairly quickly.
Probably get done by tomorrow, bloody hell. We can't get it. Oh, so annoying, man. You just knew something like this was round the corner, didn't you?
I've been. This is the thing. Even when I've done the updates with you, Ben, I haven't changed what I said, because I people want to slate me and come for me and badmouth me on chats or on comments, and I'm like, listen, guys, I have 14 years of evidence to put towards you. A leopard doesn't change its spot just because you're bringing Paratici or you're bringing a Kamoli or you're bringing an Anderson or a Mitchell, and Mitchell is the prime one that will say, and he left for what reason? This. Yeah. And here we go. I use words from Romero. Here we go. Yeah. This is what happens.
I'm guessing Plan B it is.
Plan B, fuck's sake. Yeah, I mean, especially with Koundé going to Chelsea, it frees up Zuma even more.
Exactly. So.
And what makes it? Well, you got to look at why do we settle for option B? Why is there an option B or an option C that Tottenham go for? The big clubs are strengthening and making themselves stronger to break into that top 4 or top 6 that we're aiming to get into. And here we are. Like you said, Dyer and Sanchez.
Yeah. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. But Brian, thanks for coming on once again. I think
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. I can't say anything to what you said. You're absolutely spot on. And it's just hard to take.
Out now. And I cannot wait for October the 10th and 17th when I'm back home. I cannot wait. There's going to be fun and games. I will tell you that for sure. And guys, sorry for coming back on and getting into your time. And enjoy the rest of your day.
It's all good. You too, Brian. I hope Levy didn't destroy it for you.
Oh, mate, he always destroys it. I'm just over it.
See you later, Brian.
Wow, it's depressing end to the
stream. I thought this stream was going to be, oh, nice, yeah, Toby Alderweireld's going, let's send him some nice messages. Cristian Romero's coming on nicely, yeah, Koundé's a slight chance. By the end of this stream, Cristian Romero, we're nowhere near valuation with him in Atalanta, and Koundé's on his way to Chelsea.
Yep, we thought Madrid were in a way, but not anymore. It's going to be Chelsea. It's happened before. How many times have Chelsea just like, we've gone for someone and Chelsea like, we can pay more money and we've got Champions League.
Hazard.
It's happened so many times. So there's nothing new there, is it? Chelsea gazumping us. It's just a depressing reality of where we are. That's the truth. If Chelsea want him, then obviously Chelsea are higher in the pecking order.
We're a Conference League tab. We've got our temporary expectations, I guess.
Yeah, but we always do that. So that's the risk, isn't it? When you're going for a player and then you got teams like Chelsea and other teams like that willing to go the extra mile where we're not. We're still penny pinching, so they're going to get the deal done quicker. They're gonna get it done, and he's more open to going there anyway.
Oh, fall for it every bloody time with this football club. Fall for it every time. Anyway, that is the stream. That is your good afternoon, Tottenham, for today. A goodbye to Toby Alderweireld and the Tottenham legend. And it remains to be seen what kind of defence we are going to get through the door. I'm sure Don Paratici is hard at work behind the scenes. But Koundé looks like he is off to Chelsea. He's in talks with them and he's very much open to a move there. Cristian Romero, it seems as though Tottenham and Atalanta are quite far apart on their valuation, but they are still still in negotiations. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. And if it doesn't play out the way we want it to play out, they might be going for option B, which doesn't really fill with that many people with too much excitement after trying to get Romero through the door. When you try and get Romero through the door, Tomiyasu, Milenkovic, and Zuma, nowhere near that quality.
They're not at the moment. They're levels below. Obviously, people like Milenkovic is young and Zuma's not as young, but they have someone like Milenkovic definitely has a scope to grow. But at the moment, Romero's just levels above them. So it is sad to think that it could be yet another deal where we haven't gone the extra mile and we could lose out. It's sad to think that, but look, negotiations are still ongoing. I'm hoping it's just kind of like a power play from Atalanta, and they're maybe thinking, trying to get every bit of money out of Tottenham as possible. Maybe they are willing to accept a lower fee, but who knows at this moment?
There's also Romano said last night, Romero's waiting to go to Tottenham. He's excited to go to Tottenham. He really wants to come to Tottenham. So
we all know that agreeing personal terms doesn't mean anything, especially with Tottenham. How many times have we agreed personal terms with a player and it hasn't gone over the line? Many. So it really doesn't mean anything when you agree personal terms. It just means that you have an agreement with the player, but it doesn't mean that the deal is definitely going to happen by any stretch.
Hand on heart, guys, do you really expect us to bring in another defender? That's from Bob Spur. I mean, yes. I mean, if we're openly trying to get rid of Davinson Sanchez, we've got rid of Toby Alderweireld. Last year, Jan Vertonghen left. I mean, we're running out of defenders. So, I mean, I'll be shocked if we don't bring in one. I mean, even if it's not a Milenkovic or someone that's not so expensive or something, but we have to bring in at least one.
The only positive I can think of Koundé moving to Chelsea, even if it's not to Spurs, is that maybe they'll go for Sanchez and we can get some money for him, straight out cash for Sanchez, and we can spend that. That's what I can only think. But other than that, it's obviously terrible that we've been gazumped by Chelsea yet again.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not too fussed about the Koundé deal. I'm more worried about the Romero. I think Romero is definitely... I'd prefer Romero than Koundé, in my opinion.
I would, but Koundé is going to be a great signing for Chelsea. He's going to be a great signing, so it's a shame. But it is what it is.
He will be, yeah. All right. That is it for today. We'll be back with more content today. We'll have a Tottenham update for you, and we'll have a predicted lineup for the friendly tomorrow against MK Dons. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.